Welcome to Godly Play. Watch where I go to get the story.
I think we need two of those. It's the sound of the box.
Okay, I'll wait until you're all sitting far enough away so you don't feel like you need to touch the box. Okay. This is the desert.
Got the test for you.
The desert is a dangerous place. When the wind blows, the land moves and it changes shape, so it's easy to get lost in the desert. And there's not very much food, and there's not very much water. And people need food and water to stay alive. During the day, the sun is hot and it can scorch your skin. But at night, it's cold. And when the wind blows, it can blow the sand against your skin and sting you. So people have to plan very carefully and wear lots of special clothes into the desert.
Like a pants and a long sleeve shirt. I would not want to go into this.
People don't go in the desert unless they have to, because the desert is a dangerous place. The people of God lived in Jerusalem.
It's the people of God again.
These were the walls of Jerusalem. And this was the temple that the people of God built. They knew that God was in the temple. They went into the temple to pray. They thought that God was only in the temple. They thought that the walls of Jerusalem could protect them from anything. But one day, the Assyrians came. And they fought with the people of God. And they took over the city of Jerusalem. It was a long, hard time with a lot of fighting. Some people died, and some people starved. But the Syrians left eventually. Then the Babylonians came. And this time, they didn't leave. They made the people of God leave. They made the people of God follow soldiers across the desert.
Why swords so bad?
The people of God had to get up when the soldiers said get up. And they had to go where the soldiers made them go. And they could only sleep when the soldiers let them sleep. And the Babylonians burned down the walls and burned down the temple. The people were in the desert a long, long time.
Was it hot?
They could not go home.
That scared me.
They were in exile.
What's an exile? What's the exile? What's the exile? What's the exile, Mama?
Exile is when you can't go home. The people of God eventually came to Babylon, but they missed Jerusalem. They took their harps and hung them in willow trees, and they sang sad songs about the city that they left. They wondered if they would ever see it again. They turned to face Jerusalem when they prayed. They thought the temple was the only place where they could be with God. But here in Babylon, they found out that when they got together to read scriptures and tell stories about God and pray, that God's presence came to them, even when they were in a strange land. While they were in Babylon, the king let many of the people of God work. Some of them had little stores, and some of them worked for the king. And they knew that God could be with them there too in Babylon. They were very surprised when the king of Persia came and took Babylon all for himself. The new king let some of the people of God go back to Jerusalem. Some of them went with Ezra.
So was Ezra this guy?
And the ones who went with Ezra began to rebuild the temple. And then the king let some more people of God go. And these people of God went with Nehemiah. And they rebuilt the wall. And then the king said that anyone could go back to Jerusalem. And do you know what happened? Many of them went back to Jerusalem. But not all of them. Some of them stayed because they knew that God could be with them anywhere, even in a strange and foreign land. Okay, let's sit back and ask our questions. I wonder what part of this story was the most important.
When they went back to Jerusalem.
Okay, remember the storyteller is the one who touches the story. So please sit back. Okay, I wonder what part was your favorite part? What part, Mateo? Mateo, remember I asked you not to touch the story? I asked you not to touch. Emil, what was your favorite part?
Cycle.
Kind of like a circle?
No, cycle.
Kind of like a circle.
The cycle one. When they left.
I wonder what part of the story you would be in. What do you think, Mateo? finishing up our story.
Small than one.
And I wonder if there's any parts of the story we could leave out and still have all the parts we need. Yeah, Mateo. Okay. Watch how I put the story away so that it will be ready for you the next time that you're here.
Mom, what were these here?
Okay. It's time to close the desert box. Make sure the sand stays in.
Jojo has lots of it on his. He got lots of it out.
Okay, guys, can you help me by putting away the desert box? Please put away the desert box.
Me up to the side, to the side,
So that's where the story will be. Next time you're here, you can play with it.